Hello. Whew, it's a warm one. Last time I was here, I banged my head on my window. I opened up the window like this. I ended up banging my head. Do you remember? Was it a year ago? This time last year, maybe? I don't know. Who knows, eh? Me and Bodes are just chilling. He's in the shade. Got to look after my dog. Bless him. I had a little chat. There was a guy on a cycle a few minutes ago, and he just stopped and said, basically he was saying, how much did you pay for Ishi, you know? He said, I'd love something like that. He said, I want to get away from people. And I said, it's very hard to do, isn't it, really, you know, to get away completely from people. You know, I can't do it, nobody can do it really, as much as I would like to. I love people, to a degree. I love my life better than people. I love my solitude, my quiet times. I think they're really important for me. And they're so good, you know, for the mental health, really. But the conversation went on, and I said, you've got to ask yourself why you want away from people, really, you know. What do you hope that it's going to bring you? And basically why, you know, and just be honest with yourself. And he said, oh, I know why. And I said, do you want to talk, you know? Anyway, he did. Bode, come on, darling. He's recently been diagnosed with bipolar. Now, bipolar, as far as I understand it, I don't know a great deal about bipolar, but my understanding of bipolar is it's obviously a form of depression, but it's a weird thing because you can be okay, and then, like we all do, we all have mood swings, don't we? We go up a bit and down a bit. With bipolar, to my understanding of it, is when they go down, they go very, very down, deep down into depression. And then, no time at all, you know, they can go up. But they can go up to what we might call euphoria, you know, right up, and they can't cope with that. And they can't cope down, they can't cope up, you know, it's all over the place. So that was a conversation that I had with him, you know, and it kind of led my brain on to thinking about addiction in its various forms and what have you. You know, and we're all addicted, aren't we, to lots of different things, really. Some people are just addicted to living their life, you know, addicted to going to work, maybe, or obviously then you've got drugs and alcohol and sex and gambling, and I'm just looking at these trees. Look at these. Lovely. Yes, you've got lots of different addictions, but do you know what? I think, this is going to offend some maybe, some people need and want problems in their life. So therefore they become addicted to these problems, you know. If somebody, Bode, come here out the road, darling. Good boy, thank you. You come here, I'm going to sit on the step. You come and sit with me in the shade, darling. He doesn't know what to do with himself, it's quite warm. But we've got a bit of a breeze. Come here, darling. Come on. Come on, my baby boy. There you go. Hello. Now, look. You keep getting all this stuff. I've brushed you twice. You know, what happens is, I think this is what happens, because I don't know, but people get used to living the way they're living, you know. So if they're dealing with bipolar, if they're upset most of the time, or if you know, they've got whatever mental problems they've got, or whatever addictions they've got, as in sex or gambling or alcohol or drugs or whatever it may be, and they get so used to kind of that way that it's more comfortable to be like that than it is to step out of that sort of depression or of that addiction, or, you know, of those bad feelings. It's more comfortable to remain in. So what they do, I think, what they do is they're having a good day and they think, God, you know, I'm having a good day. God, you know, what's going to go wrong? And they start looking around them, trying to find out what's going to go wrong. And they really want something to go wrong, really, deep down in their subconscious, they really want the day not to pan out to be a really good day. You know, and I'm not talking about everybody, I'm talking about one or two people perhaps, you know. they're kind of searching this sort of bad stuff out because it's more comfortable to be there, you know. Not only that, it clarifies their position really, you know, they've been diagnosed with whatever mental illness or whatever addiction that it may be. So to keep that going, they need to continue to feel bad about themselves, you know, or continue to be addicted, or you know, to bring the mental issues right up to the forefront or something like that, you know. I'm sorry if that sounds awful. You know, it sounds like I'm saying that you bring on your own mental illness. You clearly don't. There's a hole in those trees, and I like it. See that? I like that hole. Glorious. Look at that. Just wonderful. Yeah, it's sometimes easier, you know, to live the way you've always lived, you know. Certainly if you've been diagnosed with whatever, you know, it really is easier, oh come here darling, to remain like that. That's what I'm thinking anyway, you know. So I'm not giving any advice, I'm just saying that if you're having a good day, you know, if you're suffering from whatever you're suffering from and you're having a good day, accept it for what it is. It is a good day, and it can be a good day. Probably the whole day will be good, and you will go to bed with a smile on your face tonight, and you will have had a good day, you know. Every single second of the day can be good. The other thing I would say, and it probably is a little bit of advice really, is if you are having a bad day, try to search out the good, you know. I'm feeling absolutely fine today, there's no problem with anything really, you know. But if I was feeling a bit down, and I'm not really talking about mental illness here obviously, but because I don't suffer from that. I used to suffer from depression, but that's a different story. But if I was having a bad day, I would just think, okay, I've got some cool air blowing on me, it's beautiful, and I would accept that. I would accept these trees, you know, just looking lovely, and I would just look around me for the good, just look. You know, have I finished a piece of art today? Has that made me feel good? Is this breeze making me feel good? Have I listened to a piece of music I've enjoyed? Is my dog looking glorious? Look for the tiny things and accept those tiny little things, you know. I think we've got the capability to do the both, right? I think we've got the capability to send ourselves spiraling down into depression. But I think we've got the ability just to lift ourselves up from whatever negative feelings that are coming our way. We can just put them on hold just for a minute and just close our eyes and just breathe. Just breathe. And just look. You know, because life isn't as bad as what we think it is, you know. And often mental illness isn't as bad as what we think it is. Depression isn't as bad as what we think it is, and even addiction isn't as bad as what we think it is. And maybe we don't need to carry those massive burdens round just to say, yeah, okay, I've put myself in my place, you know. Perhaps we can step out even for a minute of where we currently are in our heads. It's worth thinking about, you know. As I say, this is not a video saying that, you know, if you've got something wrong, snap out of it, because I know how difficult things are, how difficult life is. You know, I do know that. But, you know, there's a couple of video channels out there that are all doom and gloom. Absolute doom and gloom. And I watch the videos, and you know, there's little glimmers of light in those videos where somebody has bought something, or somebody's child made something at school, or they've got a holiday booked. And I know they're worried about the holiday and all the rest of it, but there's a lot of little glimmers of hope. And really, if you put all those into a big jar, the jar is brimming with hope. The jar is brimming with good things for you to dip back into when you start to go down, when you start to feel ill and bad and upset and negative. You know, so as I say, it's not a video about sort of decreeing somebody's thoughts, but change your thoughts as much as you can, if you can. You alright, bird? I'm going to go and brush my dog. Take care and be well. Try and be beautiful.